What's going on, YouTube? Today I got you guys a top 5 meta loadout for the new season 4.5 update. Now there's a lot of speculation on what is actually meta and what is actually viable and what are content creators just putting out there just to tell you that they are actually meta. So today I'm gonna actually give you guys what's actually meta based upon what the pros are using. Out of all 5 of these loadouts, some are only good for certain maps and certain situations. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video to see which one you should be using. So starting off with the first gun, this is going to be the C9 SMG. Y'all know this gun has been meta for a very long time. The C9 has kind of been one of those guns where it's sometimes really good and it's absolute meta, or it's just decent and it's still viable. And if you guys don't like the #1 SMG right now, which we'll get into later in the video, then you could probably use this one. So first and foremost, I want you to put on the compensator muzzle. The compensator is going to reduce the recoil gun kick by 33% and the vertical recoil control by 35%, thus making it a lot easier to hit your shots. Because the C9 is still really good, but it does have a little bit of a bounce. Next, I want you to head over to your barrels and I want you to put on the gain twist barrel. What this is going to do is it's going to increase your bullet velocity by 55%, thus changing it from 540 milliseconds to 837. Bullet velocity is pretty much how long it takes for your bullets to hit the target or whether there's some type of bullet delay when traveling to your enemy. So the higher that this number is, the faster it takes for your bullets to travel to the enemy, which makes the gun feel significantly better. Next, I want you to go over to the underbarrel and go ahead and put on the vertical foregrip. This is going to help the recoil gun kick 4% only, but the most important thing here is the horizontal recoil control. This is going to be fixed by 35%. One of the most important things when it comes to recoil control, and never forget this is for any type of gun class ever, is horizontal recoil control. Vertical recoil is pretty easy to maintain. All you have to do is pull down your stick. As opposed to the horizontal recoil control, this makes your aim go side to side, which is a lot harder to control when on sticks. Then for your magazine, as you guys know, we're going to go ahead and put on the extended mag 2. This is going to make your gun mag go all the way up to 50. As you guys know, you're going to need this whenever you're playing in some type of quads, duos, and even trios. Now, last but not least, this is probably, in my opinion, one of the most valuable SMG attachments that you could possibly have. Head over to your rear grip, and I want you to go ahead and put on the ergonomic grip. This is going to help you aim down sight 16% faster, jump aim down sight speed 17% faster, slide to fire speed 55% faster, and dive to fire speed 55% faster as well. But one of the best things that this attachment does is it allows you to aim down sight while you're sliding. Normally, without this attachment, you'll have to slide and you won't be able to aim down sight until after your slide is done. But with ergonomic grip, you can do it while you're sliding. And that's the class setup. As you can see, this gun is not that hard to control. It's pretty good from medium to close range, and it still has a very, very good time to kill. Let me know if you guys like this class or not. This is still the #2 SMG in my opinion. The #1 is still yet to come. Now, coming in at the #4 gun, this is going to be your old reliable AR. You can use this gun in Rebirth. You can use this in Verdansk. This is going to be a very consistent gun, and that is the Krig C. Yes, this gun is still meta. So let's build a class setup. Now, the class that I'm about to make, you can use it in Resurgence as well, but it's going to be more dominant when it comes to Verdansk. So for the muzzle, I want you to go ahead and put on the monolithic suppressor. What this is going to do is it's going to increase your bullet velocity by 20%. Without the attachment, it has an 850 millisecond bullet velocity. With mono suppressor, this jumps all the way up to 1020 milliseconds. Again, making that bullet travel time a lot quicker. So you can then fight players from a lot farther. This is going to slightly reduce your aim down sight speed and your jumping aim down sight speed, but that's okay. This is an AR. You don't need this really up close, and this is what a lot of the professionals are using. So go ahead and put on the monolithic suppressor. Now for the barrel, I want you to go ahead and put on the gain twist barrel. This is going to make your bullet velocity even crazier from 1020 milliseconds all the way up to 1479. Pretty much by putting on this attachment, you are going to be able to fight players from any distance. 1479 bullet velocity is incredibly fast, which means that even if you have enemies from incredibly far away, 200 meters, you can still shoot them and get damage on them. Now for the underbarrel, because this gun does have a little bit of kick, I want you to go on and put on the vertical foregrip. This is going to help recoil gun kick by only 3%, not really that crazy, but the most important thing here, as I told you before, is the horizontal recoil control. This is going to help 35% to control that horizontal recoil, making it a lot easier to hit your shots. For the magazine, as always, I want you to put on the extended mag 3. Now for the fourth attachment, I want you to put on the magazine extended mag 2. This gives you 70 ammo, which is absolutely absurd. This should probably be nerfed. And then last but not least, go to the very end, and here under your firing mods, I want you to put on the recoil springs. It's going to help your recoil gun kick by 13%, horizontal recoil control by 18%, and vertical recoil control by 13%. Now with all this put together, this is going to make this gun incredibly good at long range, but also with the least amount of recoil as possible. As you can see, this gun has no recoil whatsoever, but the bonus here is that you can shoot people from across the map. The only downside to this gun, and I'll say this now, is how clear you can see see through these iron sights. Firing at enemies from long distance is not going to be the problem. It's going to be whether you can see them or not. So there's always going to be a trade-off, and I do think this gun is incredibly consistent and incredibly viable. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like this? When it comes to BR and when it comes to Verdansk, this is probably going to be the go-to. Coming in at number 3, this is arguably the most broken gun in the game right now when it comes to long-range engagements. This gun is so good that they had to ban it in the competitive scene. But it does have a downside, and this is only good if you are a higher skill player. Because it is a semi-automatic gun, it does have quote-unquote a higher skill gap. But to be honest, give it a try. I believe that anybody can use this. And if you master this gun, there is not a single thing that anybody else can do because you are going to be beaming people with it. So let's build it together. So go ahead and put on the DM10, and I want you to go down to the optic. I know this is going to seem a little bit crazy, but go all the way down, and I want you to put on the Remuda rangefinder. Don't worry, I know that sounds weird, but I'll explain why in a little bit. Now for the muzzle, I want you to go ahead and put on the monolithic suppressor. The monolithic suppressor, as you guys know, helps with bullet velocity. This gun is going to go up to a 1,104 millisecond bullet velocity. That is 20% more than what it originally was, with a little bit of downsides of aim down sight speed and jumping aim down sight speed. But again, doesn't really matter. Then go over to your barrel, and I want you to put on the gain twist barrel. Now this is where things start to get a little bit crazy. This gun goes from a 1,104 millisecond bullet velocity all the way up to a 1656, making this gun the king of long-range engagements. Now because of this, this gun does have a little bit of recoil, so I want you to head over to your underbarrel and put on the weighted handguard. It's going to help with recoil gun kick by 2%, but again, most importantly, horizontal recoil control is going to go down by 35%. And even then, we need one final attachment, so I want you to go to your fire mods, and I want you to put on recoil springs. This gun does bounce, so I promise you this is going to be worth it. It's going to help your recoil gun kick by 13%, your horizontal recoil by 11%, and your vertical recoil control by 13%. Now let's see how this gun shoots. Now I'm going to tell you this right now. I know this gun is going to look a little bit funny, and it's going to have a weird sight, but because the bullet velocity is so far, so when it comes to being able to shoot people from across the map, you want to be able to see what you're actually shooting at. This gun, again, does have a little bit of recoil, but this is a higher skill gun. If you can hit your shots, this thing is going to be absolutely deadly. It kills in 4 bullets, which is absurd. So let me know what you guys think. Right now, this gun, again, is so good that it's banned across all competitive platforms. Now, coming in at number 3, this is going to be the best SMG right now, and that is the LC10. Sadly, there is not a change to the meta here, and the LC10 still reigns supreme. So let's build the class together. First and foremost, let's go to your muzzle, and I want you to put on the compensator muzzle. What this is going to do is it's going to help the recoil gun kick by 39% and the vertical recoil control by 40%. The class that I'm about to build right now is going to be an absolute beam. I promise you, anybody can use this gun. Then head over to your barrel, and I want you to put on the gain twist barrel. This is going to increase that bullet velocity all the way from 550 milliseconds up to 852 milliseconds, increasing that by 55%. Then I want you to go over to the underbarrel, and I want you to put on the vertical foregrip. This is going to help that recoil gun kick by 2%, but the most important thing here is the horizontal recoil control is going to be fixed by 40%, thus giving this gun absolutely zero recoil. Now for the magazine, head over and put on the extended mag 2. This is going to increase your bullets to 55. And last but not least, you guys know the drill here. I want you to go ahead and put on the ergonomic grip. This is going to help your aim down sight speed 18%, your jump aim down sight speed 19%. It's going to help your slide to fire speed by 60% and your dive to fire speed by 60%. This attachment does allow you to aim down sight while sliding, giving you that competitive advantage whenever you're going up against your enemies. Now let me show you how straight this gun shoots. Absolutely anybody can use this. So let's see, how good is this gun really? Does it actually have no recoil, or am I just capping? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty insane. This gun right now is the best SMG possible that you could have. There is another build for this class if you are a higher skilled player, and I'll show you right here. For this class, it's going to be the long barrel, the Ranger foregrip, the extended mag 2, ergonomic grip, and balanced stock. Now, this gun will have a lot more recoil than probably what you're used to, but it is going to be incredibly fast and incredibly strafey. I only recommend this for the absolute demons. And as you can see here, this gun has insane amount of strafe. It still has pretty good recoil control, I'm not gonna lie. But again, when it comes to getting actually mixing against the best players in the world, you wanna be careful when using this because it does have a little bit more recoil than what the one I built before this. So play with both of these and you guys use whatever you guys like. Now, coming in at the number 1 gun, this is going to be specifically used for resurgence. And more importantly, resurgence ranked if you do wanna play against the best players in the world. This is not a Verdansk gun, so please do not expect this to be good on Verdansk. This is strictly for resurgence on Rebirth Island. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this this is the FFAR. For this, I want you to go to your muzzles and I want you to put on the compensator. It's going to help with that recoil gun kick by 40% and the vertical recoil control by 40% as well. And for the barrel, I want you to put on the gain twist barrel. It's going to help with that bullet velocity. It's going to bump this up all the way to 1305. Then for the underbarrel, put on the vertical foregrip. It's going to increase your horizontal recoil control by 45%, which is significant. Then for your magazine, I want you to go and put on the extended mag 2. It's going to increase your mags to 60 rounds. Then last but certainly not least, go to your fire mods and put on the recoil springs. This is going to help with that recoil gun kick by 18%, the horizontal recoil by 18%, and the vertical recoil by 18% as well. So this gun is going to be incredibly good from that close to medium range. Perfect for Resurgence and Rebirth Island. It does have one downside, which you'll see right now, but let's go and shoot this gun first. From here, the only downside to this gun is going to be its iron sights. If you can get past these iron sights, this gun absolutely beams. It took me a while to get used to it, but after that, I feel like I've kind of been able to control this. And as long as whenever you're in the mix, you're trying your best to see, I think this will be fine. This gun has zero recoil, still kills incredibly fast, and I feel like it's a really good gun. It has great bullet velocity, great recoil control, and insane damage. Only downside here is the sight. Now that you guys have the best 5 loadouts possible, let me give you guys the best settings. Because as you guys know, season 4.5 just came out, which means you gotta update all of these. So here we go. Go ahead and go over to your settings tab, and we're gonna start with your controller. From here, it doesn't really matter. You can play however you want. Now, more importantly is your sensitivity. I would say keep this anywhere from 1.5 to 1.8. If you are trying to be as good as possible and you're trying to hit every single shot, there is no need to play on 2x, 4x, 3x. Keep this anywhere from 1.5 to 1.8. I believe that 1.5 for me is perfect. For anybody else, that could be 1.6, that could be 1.7. But I think once you hit 1.8, you're just trying to be flashy with it. Now scroll down to the swap L1 R1 with L2 R2. If you don't have trigger stops, I would highly recommend to switch this to L1 R1. This is going to make your travel distance whenever you pull that trigger a lot smaller, so it's going to be faster for you to shoot. Then head down to the dead zone inputs, and this is very, very important. For my left stick minimum, I have this set to 2. For my left stick maximum, this is very important. Put this on 60. This is going to reduce the amount of time that it takes for your player to go into auto tac sprint, thus making you quote unquote faster. For the right stick minimum, I keep this anywhere from 3 to 2. 2 to 3 seems to be the perfect middle ground, so that's what I leave it at. Right stick maximum 99, and left stick trigger is 13, right stick trigger 13. Then head over to your aiming tab and click sensitivity multiplier and click square to show more. For this, ADS sense multiplier is the only thing that you're really gonna have to change here. I personally leave this at 1 because I play at 1.5, 1.5. But if you play on like 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, I would highly recommend reduce the ADS sensitivity multiplier, let's say around 0.95 or even 0.9. The hardest thing that people struggle with whenever having a high sense is whenever they aim down sight, their sense is too fast for them to control. So when you reduce this down to 0.9, 0.8, it allows a little bit more control with higher sensitivity. Try it out and let me know what you think. Then I want you to go down to the aiming advanced settings and make sure your ADS sensitivity transition timing is set to instant. Normally this is set to gradual. It's gonna make it to where as soon as you aim down sight, the sensitivity is instant. I promise you this is very, very important. Make sure to have that on. And for your aim response curve, set this to dynamic. Please don't listen to anybody telling you that linear standard is better. Dynamic is the play. Now head over to your movement tab. I want you to put on your sprint assist set to tactical sprint assist. This is gonna make it to whenever you move your left stick forward, you automatically go into a full sprint. You don't have to click down your left stick. Make sure to hit square to show more settings. And here, your sprint assist delay needs to be set to 0. So there's no delay whenever it's activated. This, along with your dead zone set to 60, is going to help significantly make you faster. Mantle assist, I have this set to off. Crouch assist, I have it set to off. Corner slicing, I personally hate this, so I have it set to off. Now, if you scroll down to your slide and dive behavior, I do believe that hybrid is meta. This allows you to tap to slide, but also tap to dive. If you want to slide, all you have to do is click down your right stick or click circle, whether you play default or tactical. But if you want to tap to dive, you can also do this by clicking down your left stick and then hitting whatever button it is that you use to crouch. So for me, it's the right stick. So all I have to do is click the left stick down and then click the right stick down, and then I tap to dive. This allows for both controls, and yes, it is hard at the beginning, but just like anything else, there is a learning curve and you will get better. So put this on and get used to it. Automatic airborne mantle, have it to off. Sprint restore on. Slide maintain sprint on. Parachute automatic behavior off. Mantle cancels reload on. And then go ahead and go to your movement advanced settings. The only important setting here is go to grounded mantle and make sure to have that on. Then head over to your combat tab and let's fix a couple things. Go down to your armor plate behavior and make sure this is apply all. This allows you to hold triangle only once and you can put on all 3 plates, as opposed to having a hold triangle, put on 1 plate, hold triangle, put on 1 plate, hold triangle, put on 1 plate. Then go over down to your combat advanced settings, and here, go to your interact/reload behavior and put this to prioritize interact. This makes it to where you're always tapping to interact, but if you do have things around you, you have to hold to reload. This is going to make looting and picking up things from the floor a lot faster. Now that we're done with the controller settings, let's go to graphic settings. From here, I'm just going to go through this and you can see what you like and you can choose what you want to keep on. Make sure you have your game set to full screen exclusive, but let's scroll down. I have NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency to on plus boost. I have VSync off in both gameplay and menus. And that's pretty much it for here. The quality and the view tabs are the more important ones here. So let's go to quality. For here, make sure your resolution is set to 100. I have dynamic resolution off. I have upscaling and sharpening set to fidelity cast, and I have it set to 100. This makes it a little bit easier to see players. Now, when it comes to your actual details and textures, I recommend to always have your settings to low. The only reason why I have this set to on is because I have a 1590 at 1440p. And on low settings, I'm getting close to 400 frames. I don't need 400 frames. So I personally have all my quality settings set to high because my GPU can handle it. If you don't have a 4090 or a 5090, I would just recommend put everything set to low, but here are mine. Texture resolution high, texture filter set to high, depth of field, make sure that is off, detail quality low, particle resolution high, bullet impacts on, persistent effects off, shader quality low, on-demand texture streaming minimal, local texture streaming quality low, shader quality very low, screen space shadows off, occlusion and screen space lighting off, screen space reflections off, static reflection quality low, tessellation off, volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, weather grid volumes quality off, water quality off. Now let's head over to view. This is very important. Make sure your field of view is set to 120. If you don't like 120 and you feel like you can't see things, you can set this down to 110. But with 120, it does make it seem like you get less recoil and it's a lot easier to manage your gun. Make sure your ADS field of view is set to affected and your weapon field of view is set to wide. Make sure your world motion blur is set to off and your weapon motion blur is set to off as well. Your first person camera movement, make sure this is on 50% and your third person camera movement set to at least 50% as well. Those are all the settings that you need right now. Now go and try these guns out for yourself and let me know in the comments down below if I missed any guns. There's always 1 to 2 guns that are considered sleeper guns that nobody really knows about. If you happen to know what gun that is, make sure to tell me down below.